The Texas Department of Transportation, Houston District, would like to welcome you to this virtual public meeting with two in-person open house options. This presentation will provide information on the I-610 South feasibility study from FM 521, also known as Almeda Road, to Telephone Road. This is a pre-recorded presentation. My name is Mike Zentak, and I am part of the study team. TxDOT would like to thank you for participating in this public meeting. During the virtual presentation, you may pause the video and navigate forward or backward using your video player. If you have any technical difficulties accessing the public meeting information, need special accommodations, or speak a language other than English or Spanish and have interpretation needs, please contact Jason Holloman at 713-802-5137. Details on how to submit comments will be provided further in the presentation. This virtual public meeting is being held in conjunction with two in-person open house options. The first open house will be held on June 13th, 2023, from 5 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. at the Sunnyside Health and Multi-Service Center, located at 4410 Reed Road, Houston, Texas 77051. The second open house will be held on June 15th, 2023, from 5 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. at the Palm Business and Technology Center, located at 5330 Griggs Road, Houston, Texas 77021. The information presented in the virtual public meeting and both in-person open house locations is identical, and the opportunities to comment do not differ. The purpose of this first public meeting is to engage with the public and adjacent communities regarding the feasibility study and project development process and to receive feedback. This meeting also offers an opportunity for the study team to address any questions or concerns from the public. TxDOT commits to purposefully involve the public in planning and project implementation by providing for early, continuous, transparent, and effective access to information and decision-making processes. At this meeting, TxDOT would like you to join the process through your participation in this meeting, learn about the study area and the surrounding community, understand the existing conditions of the roadway, comment on the information provided at this meeting, and engage by providing input on potential improvements. Throughout this presentation, individual puzzle pieces will appear in the upper right-hand corner of each slide. The color of the puzzle piece indicates which of the 5 topics, join, learn, understand, comment, or engage, is being discussed. At the top of this slide, you can see by the Join puzzle piece that we are now in the Join section of the presentation. Any proposed projects resulting from this feasibility study are anticipated to receive federal funds, and because of the federal component, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed projects in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analyses of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether or not to proceed with a proposed project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed memorandum of understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to any proposed projects that result from this study. To begin the presentation, I will first outline the notification process leading up to this public meeting. Then, I will provide an overview of the study area, a discussion of community engagement and demographics, along with a discussion about why the study is important. This will be followed by a detailed look at the existing conditions along this portion of I-610 South, the environmental analysis that will be conducted, and the next steps. Finally, we will cover the process for providing comments and feedback via written comment forms and staying engaged by participating in an online survey. Multiple outreach and notification methods were used in preparation for this public meeting. These are: information, including both English and Spanish meeting notices, were posted to the TxDOT website on May 22, 2023. Elected officials were notified of this public meeting by mail and email on May 23, 2023. Notices in both English and Spanish were then mailed to adjacent property owners on May 24, 2023, along with flyers. Approximately 48,919 postcards were mailed out using Every Door Direct on May 30, 2023, to mailboxes in the study area. Informative flyers were hand-delivered to local community facilities, gathering places, and apartment complexes in the vicinity on May 30, 2023. Notices were also published in the Houston Chronicle, the Defender, Forward Times, and La Voz on May 24th and May 25th, 2023, in English and Spanish, respectively. TxDOT advertised the meeting on roadside variable message signs along I-610 South from June 1st, 2023 to June 15th, 2023. In addition to these notification methods, links to the meeting notice were posted on the TxDOT Facebook page and TxDOT Houston District Twitter page. We are now moving to the Learn section of the presentation. The map you see on the slide depicts the feasibility study limits. The study limits on I-610 South are approximately 6 miles long, starting at FM 521, also known as Alameda Road, and ending at Telephone Road in Harris County, Texas. This information can also be found in the meeting handout for quick reference. TxDOT recognizes the importance of community engagement, as well as engagement with stakeholders, elected officials, and the public throughout the study process. The study's public engagement and outreach process will include a focused approach in communities closer to the I-610 study area, which are shown inside the blue boundary. These communities include Super Neighborhood 34, Astrodome area, Super Neighborhood 68, Greater OST South Union, Super Neighborhood 69, Gulfgate Riverview Pine Valley, Super Neighborhood 71, Sunnyside, Super Neighborhood 72, South Park, Super Neighborhood 40, Central Southwest, and inactive Super Neighborhood 73, Gulfcrest, Belford, Reveille. In addition to these communities, an extended approach with stakeholders and communities not as close to the study area, but that still utilize I-610 South is also planned. The outreach goal is to engage with stakeholders, communities, and the public in a way that ensures a transparent, inclusive, and collaborative decision-making process. The population within the focused engagement area for the I-610 South feasibility study consists of a diverse population with 92% of the population identified as a minority, according to FHWA Order 6640.23a. This order defines a minority as a person who is Black, having origins in any of the Black racial groups of Africa, Hispanic, of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Central or South American, or other Spanish culture or origin, regardless of race, Asian American, having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, or the Pacific Islands, or American Indian and Alaska Native, having origins in any of the original people of North America, and who maintains cultural identification through tribal affiliation or community recognition. The largest minority group within the focused engagement area is Black or African American, making up 43% of the population. Hispanic or Latino make up the next largest minority group at 40%, followed by Asian populations at 9%. The remaining minority population consists of people that are some other race or mixture of races other than white. Individuals who do not speak English as their primary language and who have a limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English may be considered Limited English Proficient, or LEP. Data from the 2020 U.S. Census indicates that approximately 18% of the population partially or wholly contained in the focus engagement area speaks English less than very well and may qualify as LEP. The predominant language spoken within the focused engagement area by LEP individuals is Spanish. TxDOT and the study team have translated study materials into Spanish and will work closely with the local community to ensure all residents are given multiple opportunities to participate in the study and project development process. Many of you may be asking yourselves, why is TxDOT studying this particular part of I-610 South? The age of the roadway is one driver for the study. This segment of I-610 South between FM 521 and Telephone Road was constructed in the early 1970s, which makes it over 50 years old. Since I-610 South is part of both the state and national highway freight networks, freight movement is also an important consideration. This portion of I-610 South serves as an integral connection to major destinations like energy and major employers such as the Texas Medical Center. Congestion is also a factor. According to the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, the segment of I-610 South between State Highway 288 and I-45 South was ranked as the 58th most congested roadway in Texas in 2022. According to the Houston-Galveston Area Council, or HGAC, regional population is expected to increase 65% by the year 2045. Studying this part of I-610 South now will help to identify future improvements needed to address the population growth. This map shows ongoing projects and studies in the area of I-610 South, as well as important destinations. There are two Planning and Environmental Linkages Studies, otherwise known as PELs, east of the I-610 South feasibility study area. These include the State Highway 225 and I-610 East PEL study and the Gulf Freeway I-45 South PEL study. Two TxDOT projects are also in the immediate vicinity. State Highway 35 is being designed and State Highway 288 is being constructed. In addition, Segment 3 of the North Houston Highway Improvement Project, or NHHIP, is being designed. Studying I-610 South is necessary to identify alternatives for providing connectivity and continuity in this network of the Houston freeway system. Now that we have covered the reasons why it is important to study this portion of I-610 South, let's discuss the study and project development process and the importance of your role in the process. We are currently in Phase 1, which is developing needs and goals. Phase 2 will be developing and evaluating alternatives, and Phase 3 will be schematic and environmental. Throughout this process, you will play an important role by providing feedback to help guide decision-making to ultimately lead to a successful project or projects. Now let's discuss Phase 1, developing needs and goals. In this phase, we are evaluating existing conditions on I-610 South between FM 521, also known as Alameda Road, and Telephone Road, identifying the transportation needs and developing goals for the study. At the end of this presentation, you will be asked to participate in a survey to provide us with what you feel the transportation needs are for this area, your input on the study goals, and what transportation-related improvements you want to see implemented. The information received from stakeholders and the public during this phase, along with the analysis of existing conditions, will guide Phase 2 of the study. During Phase 2, expected to begin in the summer of 2023 and continue through summer 2025, all preliminary alternatives will be evaluated to determine how well they meet the transportation-related needs and goals identified in Phase 1. This evaluation will include a look at the preliminary need for right-of-way and a high-level analysis of the environmental impacts that could occur. TxDOT will seek input from stakeholders and the public about their thoughts on the preliminary alternatives, including providing overall feedback on the alternatives presented, telling us if other alternatives should be considered, and telling us your concerns about the potential impacts of the alternatives. Information and analysis obtained in Phase 1 and 2, including input from stakeholders and the public, will help guide the development of a recommended alternative. Phase 3 is the final and most detailed phase of the project development process. During Phase 3, a more detailed schematic will be developed for the recommended alternative. A schematic is an engineering drawing that shows the proposed location of lanes, ramps, and bicycle and pedestrian elements. The schematic will also show the proposed right-of-way footprint and the location of potential noise walls if applicable. A detailed evaluation of the environmental impacts will also be completed, along with a draft environmental document that summarizes any environmental impacts. During Phase 3, stakeholders and the public will be provided with an opportunity to provide feedback on the schematic design, review the draft environmental document, and tell us your concerns about potential impacts of the proposed improvements. Robust stakeholder and public involvement is very important to each of these phases. TxDOT is committed to ensuring that stakeholders and the public are part of the decision-making process by providing multiple opportunities to participate throughout each phase of project development. As indicated by the dark blue puzzle piece in the upper right-hand corner, we are now transitioning from the Learn portion of the presentation to the Understand section. In this slide and upcoming ones, the existing conditions of the I-610 South main lanes and frontage roads from FM 521, also known as Alameda Road, to Telephone Road will be presented. This slide has an illustration of the existing typical section of the roadway. The typical section is a cross-section of the road showing how it looks today. Within the study limits, the current roadway has 4 12-foot wide main lanes in each direction with 10-foot wide shoulders. The frontage roads have 2 to 3 11-foot wide lanes and are discontinuous in some areas. The existing right-of-way is typically 350 feet. This segment of I-610 South between FM 521 and Telephone Road contains 13 bridges or overpasses. 11 bridges are more than 50 years old. 9 bridges do not meet the minimum vertical clearance requirement of 16 feet 5 inches for roadways crossing under I-610. The bridge over Holmes Road and the Union Pacific Railroad tracks does not meet the minimum vertical clearance of 23 feet 4 inches for bridges crossing over the railroad. It is also rated as poor due to a sufficiency rating of less than 50. Sufficiency ratings, ranging from 0 to 100, consider the bridge's structural adequacy and safety serviceability and functional features like width, load carrying capacity, and vertical or horizontal clearances. Bridges exhibiting signs of some structural deterioration are not necessarily unsafe, with safety being the primary focus of TxDOT's bridge inspection program. Any bridge that is open to vehicular traffic is safe. Frontage roads, ramps, and U-turns are components of the highway system that provide connectivity and access to the main lanes, surrounding communities, and businesses. In general, the connectivity and access is poor along the frontage roads in the study area. The existing I-610 South frontage roads are discontinuous in 6 locations. Some entrance and exit ramps have very steep entrances and exits and are not long enough for safely merging traffic. There are 9 cross streets in the study area that do not have U-turns, which means drivers that want to make a U-turn must go through the intersection. The study team evaluated the pedestrian and bicycle accommodations in the study area. There are existing sidewalks along the frontage roads that are in poor condition and do not meet the Americans with Disabilities Act requirements. There is a narrow buffer space between the sidewalk and roadway, which can be uncomfortable for pedestrians and bicyclists due to the closeness of passing vehicles. The study area has limited pedestrian and bicycle accommodations that connect the communities from one side of the highway to the other. Understanding historic crash data is also critical to understanding the existing conditions within the study area. Crash information was obtained from TxDOT's Crash Records Information System Database, or CRIS, from 2018 through 2022 to analyze crashes along I-610 from FM 521, also known as Alameda Road, to Telephone Road. This slide summarizes the findings for this segment of I-610 South. There were a total of 3,830 crashes during this 5-year period, with 1,269 resulting in injuries and 98 being severe or fatal. 338 crashes involved a commercial vehicle, and 21 crashes involved a pedestrian or bicyclist. The number and types of crashes were also analyzed to evaluate the existing conditions of this segment of I-610 South. This map illustrates the concentration of crashes that occurred on this segment from 2018 through 2022. To compare the crash rate along this segment of I-610 South to similar roadways throughout Texas, the 2021 statewide average crash rate of 159 per 100 million vehicle miles traveled for urban interstates was used. Areas on the map that are red are those that have a high concentration of crashes, and the green areas are those with a lower concentration of crashes. The area between FM 521 and Cullen Boulevard has a crash rate of 310 crashes per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, which is almost 2 times the statewide average of 159 crashes per 100 million vehicle miles traveled. Understanding travel speeds during certain parts of the day helps to identify areas of congestion that should be evaluated as part of the study. This map illustrates travel speeds during the morning rush hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Light green to green areas indicates a range of speeds from 40 to 60 miles per hour for that section of the highway. Dark red to yellow indicates a range of speeds from 0 to 40 miles per hour for that section of the highway. With this information, we can see that westbound traffic slows down considerably between Jutland Road and Scott Street. This next map illustrates travel speeds during the afternoon rush hours of 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Like the morning rush hours, we can see that westbound traffic slows down considerably between Jutland Road and Scott Street. In the eastbound direction, traffic slows down as it approaches FM 521 or Alameda Road at the west end and I-45 at the east end of the study. In November 2022, the study team collected information about the number and type of vehicles that pass through the study area. The circles represent locations where the traffic counts were collected. The numbers within the circles indicate the average daily traffic, otherwise known as ADT, and truck percentages traveling this segment of I-610 South for 2022. The ADT is shown in the top half of the circle, and the bottom half shows the percentage of trucks. The ADT decreases from west to east, but the percentage of trucks generally stays the same. After reviewing and understanding the existing roadway conditions and then identifying the transportation needs of the area, potential alternatives will be developed and an environmental analysis will be conducted. TxDOT is committed to identifying and evaluating potential environmental impacts that could occur as a result of any projects resulting from this feasibility study. During the project development process, potential environmental impacts will be considered as alternatives are developed. Once a project is proposed, an analysis of the existing environment and potential impacts would be conducted. Areas that would be analyzed and documented include biological resources, community impacts, environmental justice, water resources, hazardous materials, archaeological resources, historic resources, and traffic noise. Proposed projects resulting from this study would be designed to avoid or minimize environmental impacts to the greatest amount practicable. Now that we have reviewed the existing conditions in the study area, we want to highlight the estimated timeline for the study and project development. Look for the orange "We Are Here" arrow at the top left of your screen. After the comment period closes on June 30th, 2023, the team will review the comments received, prepare a draft purpose and need, develop conceptual alternatives, and prepare official public meeting documentation. Public meeting documentation will be posted to the meeting webpage when complete. Phase 1, developing needs and goals for the study, will be completed after public meeting number 1 in the summer and fall of 2023. Next, during Phase 2 from mid-2023 through mid-2025, the team will develop alternatives by evaluating how well they meet the transportation-related needs and goals previously identified, examining the preliminary need for right-of-way, and a high-level analysis of the potential environmental impacts. Phase 3, beginning mid-2025, is the final phase, where the development of a preferred alternative and detailed environmental studies resulting in an approved environmental document by spring 2026 occur. Stakeholder and public engagement, including more public meetings like this one, will continue throughout the study and project development process. TxDOT encourages you to review the materials regarding the feasibility study and provide feedback. You may submit comments in the following ways. Download the comment card from the TxDOT webpage, https://www.txdot.gov/projects/hearings-meetings.html and email to hou-pio webmail@txdot.gov. Fill out the comment card at the open house and drop it in the comment box. Mail the comment card to TxDOT Houston District, attention Advanced Project Development Director, P.O. Box 1386, Houston, Texas 77251-1386. Comments must be received or postmarked by June 30th, 2023 to be included in the public meeting documentation. Responses to verbal and written comments received during the comment period will be included in the public meeting documentation that will be posted on the TxDOT webpage when complete. As part of the engagement process, TxDOT is conducting an online survey. The survey gives you an opportunity to provide interactive input on the needs for I-610 South between FM 521 and Telephone Road. Your input will help to guide the alternatives development process. To participate in this survey, go to https://www.txdot.gov/projects/hearings-meetings.html or scan the QR code on the slide or the QR code found in the meeting handout. The online survey will be available throughout the comment period, so be sure to take the survey by Friday, June 30th, 2023. The results of the online survey and a summary of the written comments will be included in the documentation of public meeting, which will be posted on the study website within the next few months. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions, and feel free to contact the TxDOT Environmental Manager, Jason Holloman, at the TxDOT Houston District Office by phone at 713-802-5137 or email at jason.holloman@txdot.gov with any questions or comments at any time during project development. And don't forget to click on these links and follow us on Twitter for ongoing road closures and construction updates on the Houston District Twitter page. You may also keep up with TxDOT news on our Facebook page or follow us on our Instagram page. November 7th, 2000 was the last deathless day on roadways in Texas. That means for nearly 23 years, at least one person has died every single day. We all have a part to play to change that. This message is that reminder to end the streak of deaths on Texas highways. We need drivers and passengers to act more responsibly and help us reach our goal of 0 deaths by 2050. Texans can play a major role in ending fatal crashes with a few simple driving habits. Wear seatbelts, drive the speed limit, put away the phone and other distractions, and never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So please do your part and share this message with your friends and family. Thank you for participating in this public meeting. Please remember to submit your comments no later than Friday, June 30th, 2023, to be included in the official public meeting documentation.